Today, I'm going to be installing Windows 11 without most of the bloatware in just a few easy steps. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do when installing Windows 11 is change the time and currency format. And we're going to change that from English United States to English World. And from here, we can keep installing normally. Now, onto the initial install, it will throw this OOB region error, but that's completely fine and we can just hit skip. Another quick note, before we continue, make sure your PC is not hooked up to Ethernet because we do not want internet. Alright, I'm not plugged in and it is asking for Ethernet, so what we're going to do is hit Shift F10 and enter this command. Once the command is entered, we can just hit enter and it should reboot our system. Once it's rebooted, we can continue through the steps, but now on the network page we have a I don't have internet option, so we'll go ahead and click that. Now we can just create our local user, and for password I don't want one, so I'm just going to leave that blank and hit next. Turn off all this garbage and we're almost in business. And now that we're finally booted up, it's okay to turn on the internet and go ahead and run updates just to get them out of the way. Okay, updates are done, and as we can see, Windows is already a lot cleaner, but we can take this one step further. In your browser of choice, search up Rapfire Debloat and go to the GitHub page. From here, you're going to scroll down and copy this simple PowerShell script. Next, search up PowerShell and run it as an administrator, and simply paste in the command and hit enter. Alright, we can see that it's loading, and it's going to give us some options, so I'm just going to select one and hit enter, and I'm going to hit one again to remove the bloated apps, and it'll also prompt you to create a restore point if you want to do so. I'm going to select no and hit enter. And now we can let the script do its thing. And now that the script is complete, we can select enter to close it. And let's go ahead and reboot the system. Alright, now in Task Manager, we can see we're using 2.2 gigs of RAM. And before we were using 2.7 gigs of RAM on idle. So honestly, that's already a pretty good improvement. So is it worth it to run the extra steps, or should we just leave Windows 11 as is? Let me know down in the comments.